go to space, and I start looking, and I find this.
What?
Okay, I found this big black spot. Nothing in it.
Grubbed.
Well, guess what it is? It's right here next to the constellation of Orion, in the western hemisphere of the constellation of Orion. They don't want you seeing, like it says here, sky near the western edge of the constellation of Orion, right in the Washington Post. For some reason, Google decided they wanted to block out that image. They didn't want people seeing something there. So, there's that. The moon. We all know the moon is this bright little cheery character, this guy. But you look at the backside of the moon, and that's what it looks like. And you have to ask yourself why all these craters are on the South Pole. You know, why are there so many craters on the South Pole of the moon? That would tell you that something comes up from the south and is dragging a bunch of debris with it that slams into the moon. Now, that's my own personal conjecture, but common sense would tell you that. Glaciation, deglaciation. You have the ice ages and the warming periods. Okay. Sea level. Back during the ice age, the ocean levels were almost 500 feet lower than what they are now. Historically, people live near the ocean. That's where the fish are, that's where the food is. People build their establishments along the coast of the world. We do it now, we've done it for thousands of years. So, this is what it looked like back during the ice age. You had the glaciers coming down, you had a massive lake here. And actually, this map is not correct because it doesn't show the actual land mass and how big it is. You can see in this picture where the land used to be back during the ice age. Here's the shelf. Okay, this is the shelf of where the water level was back during the ice age. So that's about 400 feet right there. All right, and here's what happens when it glaciates. The glaciers come down and basically cover the upper half of North America and part of Asia. So, this is what's going to lead into the next part, which is really the most interesting part of this whole thing. They found in recent years that the several craters around the same time and of the one that killed the dinosaurs have been discovered all between the latitudes of 20 and 70 north. This led to the hypothesis that that crater was not the only impact event that happened at the same time. So, this is where it gets really fascinating, because this is where you have to throw out everything you know about archaeology and come to the understanding that there's a good chance that we were civilized on this planet a long, long time ago. Ancient artifacts that are going to shatter your thinking of what we know about the past. This is called the Antikythera mechanism. Okay, this thing it's dated to 2,000 years old. Hold on now, as soon as this thing decides it wants to. There we go. All right. 2,000 years old. It's got 30 gears, tooth wheels, okay, able to rotate different speed each. Dial is, you know, basically it's a very sophisticated timekeeping piece. And it was invented 1,000 years before gears were invented. Okay, so how did they have this 1,000 years before the gear was invented? Another question is, how did we lose the knowledge that the Earth goes around the sun? Or how did we lose the knowledge that the Earth was round? And then all of a sudden we thought it was flat, and then we go back to round again. So somewhere along the line we lost all that knowledge. They found these batteries in Iraq called the Babylon batteries. These things are 2,000 years old. What would they need a battery for 2,000 years ago if they didn't have equipment to run a battery?